Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Chantel. Today's video is going to be a really fun Christmas theme. I'm going to show you guys how I make my favorite holiday drink, mulled wine. I'm going to a holiday party and I was thinking, what could I bring that's quick, simple, and under budget? And this is it. So if you're interested in seeing how I make it, then please keep watching. First things first, safety. I have my apron here. Gotta protect the outfit, of course. I'm just gonna tie this. I have my list here, my list of ingredients. The only ingredients you'll need are oranges, star anise, cinnamon, brandy, and red wine. I'm choosing to opt out of brandy just because it's not really my thing, but if you'd like to increase the alcohol percentage in your drink, then definitely go for it. I have all my ingredients here ready to go. I have my cinnamon sticks. You can use cinnamon powder if you do prefer a more pungent cinnamon taste. I have star anise. It's not my favorite flavor in the world. It kind of tastes like black licorice, so I'm only going to be using it in half the batch. The other half will do without. I have my bag of oranges. If you only have one orange, honestly, that's good enough. I just think I might be making quite a bit, so I bought 6 oranges. And I have 2 bottles of wine. I have a Cabernet Merlot, it's 13%, and Cabernet Merlots are really sweet, so that's why I chose this one. And then I have the Bodacious Red, which is 12.5%. I don't know what kind of wine it is, to be honest, but it says with aromas of raspberry and blackcurrant, which sounds sweet to me. It sounds pretty tasty. So I'm gonna make a batch with both. This is super simple to make. First step is just cutting the oranges and having that ready to go, and then for everything else, you pretty much just throw it all in the pot, let it simmer for a bit, and that's it. I'm gonna start off by cutting my oranges. They're freshly washed. Don't be like me and buy things last minute or you're gonna end up with squishy, soggy fruit. Luckily, I was able to find a couple that were in decent shape. So in some ingredients, they do recommend just slicing the orange. I personally like it in little chunks, so I'll show you what I mean. So some people like it to be sliced. I prefer it to be cut into little triangles. So 1 orange is definitely enough for 1 bottle. So it depends on how many oranges you want and how much of that citrus flavor you want in your wine. I'm gonna be using 2 oranges per bottle. So let's move on to orange number 2. Then I'm gonna dump it into my pot. I washed my hands, but I still smell like orange, so when people ask what perfume I'm wearing tonight, I'm gonna say it's a secret. Next, the wine. Crack her open, and we're gonna pour the whole thing in. Already smells delicious. So typically with mulled wine, per bottle of red wine, you would use 1 orange, and then for the star anise and the cinnamon sticks, you would kind of just do a free-for-all based on your preference. I feel like the cinnamon flavor is what really makes this drink Christmassy, so I like to use it quite a bit. I'm gonna throw in about 7 cinnamon sticks to start. Let's throw in an 1/8, just for fun. And for the star anise, I was originally planning on just using it in half of my batch or when I make the second batch, but I'm just gonna throw a couple in there right now. They just look like literal stars. So they have a very strong taste of black licorice. I'm not a fan of black licorice, I'm not a fan of licorice at all, so don't be afraid of this because if you use a good amount, you don't go overboard, once you boil it, the flavor will kind of work out with the oranges and the cinnamon and the wine. It works. Oops. That landed on the ground. Is that a sign? And then for brandy. So something that a lot of people don't realize is when you're boiling mulled wine, a lot of the alcohol content actually evaporates. So people like to add brandy in for that extra boost of alcohol level, and it gives that extra alcohol taste. to be quite frank. So I'm not going to be using it. I'm just not going to overboil my wine. And what I'm planning on doing is taking the second bottle and pouring a little bit back on top of it after it's boiled, just to get that alcohol content and taste back up. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like so far, then we'll head over to the kitchen. So according to the standard directions of how you make this, you're not supposed to let it bubble or really boil. You're just supposed to let it simmer on medium to high heat for 15 minutes to 3 hours. I don't know who they think has 3 hours to stand and wait for this wine, so we're gonna stick with 15 minutes. And while we let this finish, we're gonna have some of this. What? It's the holidays. And I forgot one very important step, covering the pot. That looks stunning. Can't wait to try it. All right, so we're back and just in time. I think it's been about 15 to 20 minutes by now, so I'm just gonna try the wine to see how it is. Whew. I don't know if you just saw all that steam. Whew. Yeah, so remember that time I said you weren't supposed to make the wine boil?
You're not supposed to let it bubble or really boil.
So I've got a spoon and I'm gonna taste test it now. It smells amazing. I forgot an ingredient. It wouldn't be me if I didn't forget something. But it's okay. It's not something that's gonna ruin it. I forgot sugar. So typically people do use brown sugar or they'll use some form of syrup. I just use the regular old white sugar. This isn't really something that you necessarily measure out. It depends on how much you want it, your health restrictions, etc., etc. I'm just going to go ahead and dump the whole bag in. I tasted it and I was like, something's a little off with this. The wine is already boiling, so the sugar is going to evaporate pretty quickly, and I should be able to tell whether or not I need a little bit more or if I have enough. Let's try this again. It's perfect. A little bit more won't hurt. So I'm just gonna give it one last mix. Guys, it looks so good. I love pulp and you can really see it in the mix right now. I'm gonna show you an up close. How good does that look? And you know, it looks really good to me because I know how it tastes and this is my favorite drink. If you're someone who's not used to it, it's not exactly the most physically appealing looking drink, but honestly, trust me, it's so delicious. One batch of mulled wine using one wine bottle will serve about 4 to 5 people. And the reason you're able to get so many servings out of it is because of all the ingredients in it, the oranges and everything. The more oranges you have, the more it fills up the cup. That's a little hack that you can do. You can add 2 slices per cup and then it kind of like bumps it up a bit. I'm gonna be using this type of wine glass. It is a thicker glass. The one that I was drinking out of before, it's a much thinner glass. I don't know if you can really tell the difference, but because it's a hot drink, if you're not putting it in a mug, it can very easily crack the glass. So I'm gonna pour a bit out. I'm gonna start off with the orange. It's one of those drinks where when you're serving it, it's really good to be intentional. Make sure that you give everyone a cinnamon stick, a star anise, enough wine, enough oranges, you know, all that good stuff. There's all those candy cane margaritas and the ginger beer Christmas stuff and whatever. Mulled wine, #1. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all you need to make a delicious mulled wine. Now, if you're making it because you're bringing it to a Christmas party or just for yourself, for your own Christmas dinner, What you can do is pour everything in the pot into a nice clear glass, and you can dress it up by adding bows. Cute little bow on the stem of the glass or on the stem of the jug. So many different things you can do. Another way to garnish it is just adding rosemary. Like something so simple as adding rosemary can really dress things up. Obviously not this small little piece, but a nice long stem of it. Last but not least, we hang up the apron and drink. Well guys, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully it gave you an idea of something new you could do for your holiday party this season. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like it, leave a comment down below and let me know what you're doing this year for Christmas, or if you have any fun holiday drink recipes. And of course, subscribe to my channel so next time I post a video, you'll be the first one to see it. Bye guys.